Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Cal's Bearded Banter. Now, you may notice I've got myself a can of Brewdog Hazy Jane. It's a nice New England IPA, only 5%. I'm going to pop this now and pour myself a drink because I'm not doing a beer tasting thing, don't worry about that. I'm going to introduce a friend of mine to you all in a minute. Some of you will know him. Goes by the name of Robert Banks. It goes by that name because that is his name. So I'm going to bring him in. I've poured myself a beer. Now, the reason I poured this beer is because Rob, he's good at making biltong, or as some people may call it, jerky. But we won't do that to Rob because he will not be happy. I think even more so, his wife will not be happy being South African. So I think that's where he's picked up the trade. He's learned how to make this biltong, and he's going to show us how to do it from scratch. So without further ado, cheers everyone. I'm going to enjoy this beer. I'd enjoy it more so if we had some biltong to eat, but you know, we'll see what Rob's got planned. Anyway, let's get on with it now, shall we? Let's go over to Rob now. Now here he is, Rob, the man himself. That's the one, and he's going to show us how to make biltong. Welcome, Rob. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for showing us how to do this, mate. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like when it's done.
Fantastic. Look at that. I can almost smell it from here, mate. I can almost smell it from here.
I can smell it. Nice big box.
Oh, look at that. My mouth. Oh, drooling.
Fantastic. Right. Start off, you're going to need beef.
Beef.
So beef, you want a nice big thick bit, usually top side, silver side rump. I usually go for silver side because it's got a nice bit of fat inside it.
Yeah, right.
I have prepared some earlier. This is not the whole time. So nice bit, silver side.
Lovely.
Tiny bit. There's only a third of it left. And then, yeah, you're just literally slicing it with your hands.
That's right. Keep it safe.
Keep it clean. So you're slicing it. You want it about a centimetre thick.
Okay.
No more. Keep the fat on it for now. Because the fat, well, not very healthily, and it tastes really good.
Yeah, dead right.
And you can always pick the fat off afterwards. There's also as well, the better the piece of meat you use, the better it will taste.
Okay.
Same with everything. So, yeah, okay, fine. Aldi, Lidl, the beef it's all right.
Yeah.
Not a bad cut of meat, and it's relatively decently priced. I've happened to find a local butcher nearby. They're quite tame. They give me a bit of a discount because I'm buying it in the whole silver side.
Yeah. Just the cow comes in one side and you're carrying it out the next.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. But yeah, the last lot I made was about 5 kilos of meat, made around about 2 kilos of biltong.
Yeah.
Which is enough to last you a week.
Don't know anything about it, mate. Don't know anything about it.
Not at all.
For those that don't know, he actually sent them, and the reason we got onto doing this video is a couple of weeks ago he sent me some biltong, and I thought it was fantastic. So I showered at him for sending me some when he should have sent me more. And I says, "Well, are you going to show us how to make some?" And he gladly agreed to it. So that's why he's here now.
Exactly. Yeah. So in the end, we got a slice about yay thick.
Right.
Finger. Bit of fat down the side.
Okay.
And that's what you're looking at. Okay.
Right, so they're quite thick. That's thicker than what I expected, that, mate. I'm bigger as well, actually.
Yeah. But that's about it, and that will then dry down to. I'll show you in a bit.
Yeah.
I've got your hands.
Okay.
So, yeah, box. Next thing you need malt vinegar. Cheap ass brown vinegar.
Right.
Pop the box. And what you're doing, you're coating the meat in vinegar. What the vinegar does, one, it kills off any bacteria, any grubs that you don't want on this because you're going to hang out and dry it. And it starts to tenderize the meat as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Right, nice.
So, just lay that down inside the vinegar, like that. Put the next layer on top. give it your damn good soaking. Yeah, Alexa's now chiming in. She thinks she knows better. And yeah, next bit just goes on top. Give that a coating. And that takes about 3 hours.
Okay.
That's a minimum.
So you leave that like that for 3 hours. Right.
3 hours. Leave that as is. Luckily, I thought about that in advance.
In good play school fashion.
Here's someone made earlier. So, Blue Peter, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
Now that's changed. It's now quite a dark, dark colour.
Yeah, right.
That's now really good. Right. Get some kitchen towel. What you're doing now, you're dabbing off that vinegar. Okay, you want it touch dry.
Do you think, Rob, would it make a difference if you use some of them, these artisan vinegars you can get with all kinds of flavours and stuff to it? Would that add to the flavour to the beef?
Possibly. I did it with balsamic vinegar a while ago. Luckily, I only used a little bit of meat. It wasn't the best. To be honest, it was. It gives it a good lot of flavour. You've got that flavour in the malt, but it doesn't taste vinegary.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it does impart vinegar, so the strength of the vinegar does help. Yeah.
Right.
So I've done it with malt vinegar. I've tried it with cider vinegar or red wine vinegar, and again, there's not really a lot of flavour to it. Let's make it quite insipid. That's all dabbed off dry. Not bone dry, just dabbed dry.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. Right, next one. Get that box out. You need your Biltong spices.
The spices. We like the spices.
So traditionally, Biltong is 3 ingredients: black pepper, salt,
black pepper, salt,
and coriander seeds.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
You need salt because you're curing the meat. That draws all the moisture out of it and it stops it rotting.
Yeah.
The pepper and the coriander give it flavour.
Just the flavour.
Just the flavour.
So is this where you could add sorry mate, is this where you could add chili flakes and stuff to it or not, or what?
Yeah, you can do. Add chili flakes. You could add other flavours they put in it. Some allspice, aniseed.
Yeah.
But again, what you want to do is only a small amount. You don't want it to overpower the flavour of the meat.
Yeah.
So that's the key thing here, flavour of the meat.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is adding to that. So you'd be pepper and salt and aniseed. Or pepper, salt, and something. It's always the pepper and the salt.
Yeah.
And then the flavour of something else.
Right.
So I mixed up some already.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't done and go through. You toast off the coriander seeds, toast them off in a dry frying pan. They all start popping and cracking.
Right.
Grind those up with black pepper and the salt, and then that gives you dry mix.
Right.
Usually the recipe I use is 1/3 by weight. So 1/3 salt, 1/3 pepper, 1/3 coriander. That can make it very salty.
Right.
So to counter the salt, put a little bit of sugar in there.
All right. Okay.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
You don't need an awful lot, but it just cuts down that level of saltiness, and it also makes it helps make it tender as well.
Right. Right.
Okay.
When you say not a lot, what are you talking? A few spoonfuls of salt or what? Or
just like a teaspoon.
Okay. Yeah. A teaspoon. Again, right. Okay.
Yeah. Again, depending on that amount there, which is quarter of a cup of the mixed ingredients, I put about a teaspoon in there.
Right. Right.
There's no reason why you can't lick your finger, stick it in there. If it's too salty to taste, add a little bit more sugar.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
For all the fun. You get your seeds, your mix, sprinkle it in the bottom, and then you put your meat in. That's the actual dish. And that's it.
So.
And then scatter over the top. Now, if you're really lucky and you've got a South African relatives, you can import that.
Okay, yeah.
And that is That's a spice mix. I'm not sure if Amazon sell it. I would give some away, but the stuff I've got when expiry date or best before date was end of last year. So
right,
yeah,
best not.
still tastes. It's exactly the same taste, exactly the same flavour,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's the last packet I've got of that. So I'm now making my own.
all right.
But that's it. And once that's done, leave that for an hour, 2 hours tops. It looks like this. And now, this was bone dry when I started it and I've frozen. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
This was bone dry when I put the spices on it. You can see there, it's swimming in juices.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
salt is still drawing more fluid out.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. And there, it's all coated, all covered in stuff, in the herbs and spices.
Yes.
And
Looks lovely,
mate. Now,
that's
here comes the best.
saying that, mate. Surprised me how much of that, like, say how much that salt has drawn all that juice out of there.
Yep. But then you got the best thing.
Yes.
This is my Biltong box of delights.
Here's your little your toy box.
Your toy box. So basically, you've got fan at the top, the light bulb on it.
Yeah.
The light bulb is generating heat. The fan is pulling air out. And at the bottom of the box, you've got two vents either side that suck air in. The air comes in, drawn through the heat, and everything else up through there and out the top.
Right.
And then you've got your box. And this can be anything. This is too small for me now.
Yeah.
I want a bigger box. Need to make a bigger box. There are instructions on the internet. It's really quite simple. It's just a lamp at the bottom or the top, a fan, and vents for air to come in. Making sure you've got gauze or something on the vent to stop the little bugs coming in.
Yeah.
And then get your hooks. Now I've dipped them in vinegar to kind of sterilize them.
Yeah.
Get your meat, hole in it, and that then just hangs up in your box.
Right, simple as. So that box you've got there, did you actually make that or buy it?
Oh, I bought it off Amazon. It was a birthday present for the missus.
Right, yeah. Because I can say it looks really good if you made that. It's like a
yeah, I made it.
Yeah.
The key thing when you're hanging it, the meat can't touch each other. You want airflow to flow around all of it. If it's touching, there's a risk it could start rotting.
Oh, right.
Okay. If it's wet and it doesn't dry out quickly enough. So putting it in. Oh. There we go. Yeah, that's the amount of fluid I pulled off 3 bits. Yes, that's ready to go. And that should be then ready in less than a week.
Okay.
Let's move it out of the way.
Yeah. So that biltong you got hanging up there, then you're saying you leave that for about a week?
Yeah, week or less. Now, depending on how thick, how dry you like it, so that is quite dry. It's hard to stiff to bend.
Yeah.
Other bits I've got slightly fatter bits. They'll dry out less, so a little bit more of a squeeze and a flex to them.
Right.
Purely down to personal taste. You like it dry? Do you like it wet? Because you wet, it's more like a jerky. And with jerky, you tend to have more flavorings and marinades on them.
Okay.
And you put the marinade on it and you leave it in the marinade. Whereas obviously with biltong, it goes in dry, and the moisture is dried out of it. So it is more of a crispy dried meat.
Right. And so let's say that big piece that you put in there will come out about the size of that thing.
Yeah. It's about
yeah. So it takes a lot of meat to make a big, like a tub like that, doesn't it, really? You're talking...
Oh, yeah.
It's a fair bit of meat.
Hey. Yeah, as I said, 5 kilos of the silver side made about 2 kilos of meat, of dry biltong. So you're losing quite a lot of moisture out of it. When you're cutting, I meant to mention, when you're cutting the meat, cut it with the grain. So cutting it along in the opposite direction you would do if you were slicing for a joint of beef.
Yeah.
So you're cutting it along the grain.
Right.
So you want that long grain. So mauling this place. As you can see there, the grain runs all the way down the side.
Yeah.
And you got a nice bit of dried fat on the end there.
Yes. Well, that's good.
Yeah, what I might do is actually you can stick a couple of competitions up. People that have watched this thread and actually sat through right to the end and seen this bit. I'll do maybe 2 or 3 packs, 100 grams for a few people to actually win some.
Wow, that sounds amazing, mate. We'll sort that out. The unfortunate is, I think the only person that I can see it now, the only person that's going to enter is me. So well done.
Yeah, well.
No, that sounds good, mate. Yeah, we'll sort some out.
Other entries. Oh dear.
Yeah. We can do it for the Flat Cap Friday thing, couldn't we?
Could do.
But that's up to you. If you want to do a comp, you can do whatever comp you want, mate. You know, it's your competition.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As I said, this lot's going to be ready at the end of the week. I've got some in the freezer. It freezes well. Once it's dried out, it freezes. And I've got a cheap vacuum sealer from Aldi. As you know, I've sent you some. It's back sealed out quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bang on. Listen, thanks, Rob. I'm sure people will enjoy watching this.
Hope so.
I'll see you in the group soon, mate. I'd say cheers, but I've just finished my beer off anyway. So
mine's very nearly gone.
Look forward to.
Cheers.
Yes. Cheers. I look forward to trying it in the future, then, buddy, and so will some others if we get a competition going. So
yes, mate.
Listen, you've been so good, mate. Do you know what you're going to get for this? Get ready for this. You're going to get yourself one of these golden Carl's Bearded Banter stars, just for you, mate. The only people who get them is people I like that have been interviewed and they do a good interview. So you are among the precious few.
Cool.
So
yeah, I'm amongst the elites. I can go on my tall trolley, right a place.
Yes. So PM me your address, buddy. I think you might have done it already, but send it me again and I'll send it out. And I'll send you a few more. Send you a few more other stickers of what I've got. You know, like that thing behind me.
Thank you.
Give you some of them. Cheers, buddy. Thanks for your time, mate. Really enjoyed it.
Take care.
I'll see you again. And everyone watching. Toodles.
Thank you very much.